And when I say logic, we are only ever experiencing our thinking in the moment. And the reason that is a logic is that it doesn't work any other way. The misunderstanding is that it does. The misunderstanding that creates 100% of the misery of society and the misery of our own personal beliefs is that we think it doesn't work like that. We think it works by out there, that person upset me, I'm upset because of this situation, the environment's affecting me, if you hadn't done that I wouldn't feel angry. And it doesn't work that way. It looks like it does, but it doesn't work that way. And the reason we feel it does is because it really looks like it. I know that if you get a stick, a straight stick, you put it in water, refraction of light in the water make it look like it's bent, but it's not, it's actually straight. So just because we can see something that looks a certain way doesn't mean to say it actually works like that. And humanity's paradigm of the mind is working on the outside in. It's working to change out there, to get a better out there, to get a better in here. And it's innocent. And I throw my hands up, I was working in that paradigm up until recently, but it doesn't work that way. It never has and it never will. It only works from inside out. That's the only way we generate experience. And on a practical level, sometimes my partner Jenny can be irritating by doing the same behaviour, and other times she's not irritating by doing the same behaviour. Sometimes I can think someone's disrespectful by saying something, and then I can say the same thing. Other times I find it funny. What happens is, out there is always happening. And again, we're not generating out there with our thinking. It's an objective fact that things are out there. But we create a subjective reality of out there with our thinking. And another reason there's a logic behind this is that our thinking that I was just pertaining to is transitory, it's impermanent, it changes. One minute you can look in the mirror and think you look quite good, another minute you think you look bad. Sometimes your kids are wonderful sparks of light, other times they're disrespectful little devils. Our thinking changes, our capacity as a human being goes up and down depending on what we think we're capable of. We live in this transient, changeable, impermanent thought state, and all of it looks real to us. Like magicians can make the Eiffel Tower disappear, they can float, they can do all manner of things, but just because it looks like they're doing it doesn't mean to say they're actually doing it. But underneath the transitory nature of our thinking is a universal constant. Underneath the impermanence of our minds, the smoke-like structure of what we're creating via thinking, there is a universal truth. There is a principle that always has and always will be true. No exception. And that is, we work from the inside out. We are only ever experiencing our feeling about life and not experiencing life. That's how sometimes you could be. I've just been in Thailand for 3 months, hence the tan. Sometimes I was sitting on a beach and I was in a heavenly realm. I could see the water shimmering off the surface and the palm trees rustling in the breeze, and it was just beautiful. And other times I can be sitting there and the sand is annoying and it's too hot and my skin's getting sunburnt and the water's not as clear as it should be, and those people over there are making too much noise. And so we're not experiencing the beach, we're experiencing our thinking about the beach. And so, in a very long-winded answer, what are the three principles to me? I'd say that the three principles doesn't give us an application of what to do or a prescription of how to do it. It gives us a description of how it works. It gives us a simple, clear explanation as to how we're creating experience of life. And now, people may think, well, that's fine, why is that useful? But if you realise that your entire life, from when you were born to when you pass away, is a thought-generated experience of life. All the feelings you will have or have had, who you think you are, what you're capable of, everything is a thought-based experience. Now, wouldn't it make sense to really know how that works? Because if you know how that works, your life will be what life should be. And it's walking in heaven every day. It's being in a state of untouchable well-being and wisdom and health. That is a birthright for everybody. And with the nature of experience, we're not always going to have that, because our thinking will take us up and our thinking will take us down. And so we're not always going to feel, I'm not even going to say happy, I'm going to say okay. We're not always going to be okay. But this experience, seeing it as experience, is when you're not okay, you're not okay. It's just experience. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to worry about. It's just the nature of what happens. And I know from having a mind training and a coaching background, I would wage war. I would send daisy cutters in and nuke my thinking and my feeling, and if I wasn't feeling good, I would wage war on feeling better. And it doesn't work that way. It only works from the inside out, and the less we have on our minds, the more we fall into the spiritual. And by doing all of those techniques to myself, I was putting more in my mind. More isn't necessarily better. Less is more.